Josh here from BrickT, and today we're checking out a cherry blossom tree from Wish. So let's get into it. So here we have the completed set, and thanks again for joining us today on Get Bricked. So today we have the Sembo block set, which is a cherry blossom tree, and it's actually interesting because there's not one name for this set that I've seen. Wish had it listed as something. The actual Sembo block site has it listed a little bit differently a couple places, but they also call it like the season view or the street view or something like that as well. I'm just going to call it the cherry blossom tree from Sembo block. Now, once we manage to get the set together, it does look really good overall, and I love the look of the tree, especially with the cherry blossoms, even the fact that they included one scattered on the ground as well. But let's just jump in and take a closer look at some of the better details. We'll start off with the minifigures though. Now we'll start off with the minifigure that has the most amount of detail. We have this woman in a kimono. And I love the look of the print, especially since it seems to wrap all the way around the body. The arms are printed, we've got the front and back and even the sides of the torso. And then we've got the brick piece at the bottom, similar to how we see minifigures wearing dresses. This one so that it can trail a little bit behind the figure. Now, if we move up to the head, none of the minifigures in this set have a secondary print for the head. But with her, we do get the lipstick, giving it a little bit more of a subtle kind of look. And then we do get the hair tied up as well. And she does come with an accessory of an umbrella. And I love the look of this one, especially since the top of the umbrella is a molded piece. No sticker and it's not a print, so you actually get that tactile feel, which is a nice touch. Next up, we've got the photographer of the group, and I like the look of the blue and the orange for the pieces, and even the fact that we do get the print on the front and back of the torso with a backpack. Character looks like he's wearing a jacket of some kind. It's just a shame that they didn't extend the print onto the sides of the torso, because it looks like from the front there's a strap that's supposed to be going around to the backpack. So that would have been a nice additional touch, but we do get a little bit of a print on the front of the legs, just to give them some pockets. Now moving up to the head, we do get a happy, cheerful, smiling face, and I like the look of the green hat. Just a bit of an odd color for the green, I think. But the accessory that he includes is a camera, of course, but they did include the 1x1 round translucent piece so that you can make it almost look like he has a lens on the front of the camera. So it definitely gives a better look to the camera overall. Now, next up, we do get a couple of what I would call generic minifigures with no accessories. First up, we've got this woman done up with black pants and a purple jacket with a white button-up shirt underneath. A print only on the front and back of the torso. And then moving up to the head, we do get a print where it's just kind of a neutral face, but with the lipstick and the glasses. And then we do get a standard kind of ponytail hairpiece where it looks like some of the hair has kind of been pulled behind the ears as well. Next up, we do get this figure with brown pants and a yellow jacket with a white button-up shirt, but of course the top button's undone, a little bit more casual it looks like. And we do get a little bit of a print on the legs. We get the belt, it looks like, and then a couple of pockets on the sides. Now, moving up to the head, we do get a kind of smirking face with the like red or orange kind of hair color. A little bit more of a messy kind of style to it, though. Next, we've got a figure with black pants and a black jacket with a white button-up shirt. And the print goes on the front and a little bit on the back of the torso. And then we get a tiny little touch of the print on the legs as well, just for the bottom of the white shirt. And moving up to the head, we do get another figure with a bit of a smirk going on. And then we've got the brown hair parted on the side. This one a little bit more of like kind of like a shag kind of cut, but with a part on the one side. And last up for the minifigures, we do get a painter, it looks like. And I like the look of this one with the brown pants, as well as the kind of like teal kind of jacket color. We've also got like a more of a bluish kind of scarf that he's wearing. And overall, it's not too bad with the print on the front and back of the torso. We do get the blue kind of teal shirt kind of extending onto the legs as well, just a small little bit there at the bottom. And moving up to the head, we do get what I would classify as the standard kind of artist look, where he's got a bit of a smile, but he's got the mustache with a tiny bit of a goatee, definitely matching the look of a lot of street artists in a lot of different cities in the world. But he's also got the blue cap where it looks like it's been tied on there. And as for the accessories, of course, being a painter, he's got his trusty brush, as well as it looks like a palette with some different colors on there. Now, as a figure, he does look good overall, and it's just a shame they didn't include a canvas or something that he could actually be painting. That's a small missed opportunity, I think. Now, we'll take a look at the main build, but we'll start off with some of the smaller details, and I like the look of the lamp that we get on the one side here. The flame piece that's in the middle and the gray piece that it's on, they're actually just in there free floating. They're not locked in place or anything, so they will move. But I like the way that they're kind of pinned in place by the other pieces, like the panel pieces there on the sides. Now, the lantern can be a little bit finicky. It's just connected by the one stud, but it does seem to hold in place as long as you're not messing with it too much. So we'll move over and take a look at the stairs next. And you'll notice, of course, on the ground, we do have the cherry blossoms scattered around as well. But I do like the look of the stairs overall. I like the fact that they use the angled pieces as well as the hinge pieces to kind of give it that curved staircase kind of look to it. It does look really good overall. It's just too bad that the steps seem to be a little bit too big, especially at the base of it. Probably a little bit difficult for your average minifigure to climb it. So it would have been nice to see a couple of additional steps in between, just to kind of space it out a little bit more. And I think the other downside of the stairs is just the railing itself is just very finicky. It's only held in place by small pieces, and you have to kind of wedge them in place. So it would have been nicer to see it like actually be able to connect as a full railing going down. But of course, when you start dealing with angles, that can be a little bit more difficult with Lego pieces, especially when you're going for a certain kind of look. Now, moving to the base of the stand where the tree is sitting and like where the deck is, I do like the look of the rocks that they have underneath. I like the fact that they use different angles and we get the dark pieces as well to give it a bit of a shadow kind of look to it. I think an odd choice for me though is the fact that we have the tree growing out of the top of it, but it would have been nice to see some of the brown extending underneath of it on at least one of the sides or in the corner there, just to signify the tree kind of coming through there as part of the deck. That would have been a nice little additional touch to it, but even without that, it does still look good as just like a rock base for it to sit on. Now, moving up to the deck itself, the deck looks really good with the railing that goes all the way around it, done up in the dark brown. And then we've also got this orange gate that goes on the front as well, and we do get a nice printed sign on the top of it as well. And initially, I actually thought we were missing one of the orange pieces when I was doing the build, but since we're dealing with over 1,000 pieces, you got to be careful you don't misplace any. Apparently, it dropped off the table when I wasn't paying attention. Now that brings us to the tree itself. And I do like the look of the tree done up in the brown that we get here. And overall, like the look of the tree is pretty nice. I like the fact that they found a way to kind of branch out and figure out ways that you could attach the different leaves and all the cherry blossom pieces as well. And it does look really nice overall. The downside for me with this build is that the tree itself was actually very fragile until you get to basically the end of it and lock everything in place. Until then, even the base of the tree is like split in half basically as you're building kind of both sides independently. But at the very end, when you lock everything in place, it does make it a lot more sturdy, and it actually does seem to be holding in place pretty well. Now, as for the white and pink pieces for the leaves and the cherry blossoms themselves, it does look really nice done up all together when you get them on the tree. The downside I had was that in doing the build, that part is just very repetitive because there's so many of them and they're all built exactly the same. Same pieces, same orientation, so it's just a lot of repetitive work. Unfortunately, with these kind of sets where you have those kind of pieces filling in, I can make it a very repetitive build. For me, I just threw on an episode of a show and then powered through them all. But it was fun getting them all on the tree and getting them all oriented so that it could kind of fill it in and make it look more cohesive as a tree. Now, the final part of this build is that we do get a light brick and a battery brick with a wire connecting the two of them. So if you want to put them on the set, you may have to hide the wire a little bit behind the tree, but they do have it so that you can replace the back of the railing on the deck there with this block, so you can actually have it mounted on there, and then you can just turn the light on as needed. Now, the light is pretty bright, but personally, I don't really see the need to have the light on there. Now, for the battery box, they did include a couple of stickers that you could apply, but they're not your standard stickers. They actually have like a kind of like a transfer film that's on the sticker, and you have to be very careful when peeling that up because I had a couple of them not wanting to start off on the transfer film. They just wanted to stay on the original paper. But you have to be very careful, and then when you get them into position, you have to kind of just press it down firmly, make sure they stick, and then you can pull off the film very carefully and make sure they stay in place. Now, the stickers do add a little bit of extra detail to it and gives it actually a bit of a textured quality as well. So a nice little touch there, but personally, I don't see myself using the light too much. Now, overall, the set is a great set, but there are a couple of downsides. The instructions in some places are not clear. Sometimes they don't rotate the set in the picture, so you're guessing as to like where some of the parts are going to go. And there was a couple that I had to shift after I got it all together, once I realized that a couple pieces were out of place. And with the build being so large, it was hard to get it all in frame, especially once we start adding all the leaves onto it. Now, other than that, the only other thing I thought was going to be a downside would be hoping we got all of the pieces. And as I was building it, a couple of pieces did end up getting misplaced, so I thought we were missing some. But of course, I managed to find those afterwards and get them in place, especially on the orange gate there. I thought we were missing one of the pieces there, but we did manage to get it together in the end. And the fact that I managed to get it from Wish when it was cheaper is a nice touch as well. And this is actually the first time I've opened up a Sembo block set, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. And I'm very happy to add this one to my collection. And surprise, I do also have a friend that will be adding this to their collection as well. So happy birthday to you, Heather. I know you love cherry blossoms. But let me know in the comments below what your guys' thoughts were on this build that we did today. Would you like to see some differences with the cherry blossom tree itself or some different scenery around it? Leave that below and make sure you guys like and subscribe and get that bell on because then you can stay up to date whenever we release our next video. Now, before the cherry blossoms begin to fall, just be sure to tell everyone that you just got bricked.